Hello and welcome to VNA News Bulletins. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
National Assembly sets 6.7% economic growth target for 2016. Auto imports will be subject to new special consumption tax. Music festival will take place in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City to mark Vietnam-EU diplomatic ties.
The National Assembly approved a resolution on the Socio-Economic Development Plan for 2016, which sets the goal of a 6.7% increase in gross domestic product on November 10th. Maintaining macroeconomic stability, striving for higher economic growth rate, and improving growth quality for sustainable development continue to be the main targets for next year. The National Assembly urges accelerating the implementation of strategic breakthroughs and economic restructuring in line with growth model renovation, while continuing to improve living conditions and social welfare. Other goals set by the resolution include keeping the consumer price index growth below 5%, while increasing the import-export turnover by 10%, with a trade deficit of below 5%. The rate of household poverty according to multidimensional poverty standards is expected to decrease by 1.3 to 1.5%. The health insurance coverage will be 76%. The National Assembly resolution also requests ministries, sectors and localities to effectively use natural resources, proactively carry out measures to protect the environment, deal with disasters, and adapt to climate change. Efforts should be made to intensify administrative reform, enhance the efficiency of state management, while boosting corruption and wastefulness prevention, strengthening defense security and social order and safety, and firmly safeguarding national sovereignty. The legislature also requires the government to take flexible and efficient monetary and financial policies, maintain suitable interest rate, exchange rate and credit growth, address bad debt effectively, and control public debt, government debt and foreign debt strictly. Notably, the National Assembly asked for the building of a legal framework to ensure the centralized state procurement in 2016 and the acceleration of state-owned enterprise restructuring, especially those involved in agriculture and forestry. An aviation rescue and search drill, the largest ever, was held by the Ministry of Transport in the central province of Nghệ An on November 10th.
As the largest ever event of this kind, the practice aims to improve capacity of Vietnam's aviation agencies and rescue forces in organizing and managing research and rescue activities in flight information zones and at spaces that Vietnam is authorized, thus bettering their performance. The exercise contributed to raising public awareness of the reality of aviation search and rescue work and responsibilities of organizations and individuals in the field. It helped promote coordination among rescue forces and practice techniques to search for planes in distress based on emergency information recorded by emergency locator transmitters. Through the event, Vietnam's ability to ensure provision of search and rescue services was introduced to the International Civil Aviation Organization, civil aviation organizations, and allied service developers in the region and the world.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has agreed to provide an additional $4.4 million from the national budget for a survey to collect information on socio-economic situations of 53 ethnic minority groups in 2015.
Of the figure, $4.2 million will go to the Ministry of Planning and Investment, and the remaining is reserved for the Government Committee for Ethnic Minority Affairs. The survey, the first of its kind, aims to compile statistics on population, incomes, housing, and other socio-economic indicators of the ethnic minority groups. It forms part of the compilation of the National Statistical System and the Statistical System on Ethnic Affairs in order to map out socio-economic development policies for ethnic inhabited areas. The results of the survey will also serve as a foundation to form a data system on ethnic minorities in Vietnam. Ethnic minority regions targeted by the survey are defined as areas where the number of ethnic minorities accounts for at least 30% of the local population. The survey will be conducted in 51 centrally run cities and provinces, which are home to ethnic minority groups.
The Ministry of Finance stated that member countries of the Trans-Pacific Economic Strategic Partnership will remove tariff on between 78 to 85% of tariff lines for Vietnamese goods immediately after the TPP takes effect, possibly in 2018. According to Vũ Như Thăng, Head of Department of International Cooperation under the Ministry of Finance, after 3 to 5 years, up to 97 to 100% of all tariff lines will be abolished. Thăng added that, with most member countries choosing to follow this roadmap, with the exception of the US, which has separate tariff productions for each TPP member, the agreement will open up opportunities for Vietnamese enterprises to boost Vietnam's exports to the member countries. Moreover, Vietnam will also bring its tariffs to zero for most import goods. Import tax will be abolished immediately for a majority of plastic and plastic products, chemicals and chemical products, paper, wooden products, machinery and equipment, as well as garment and footwear, rice, fertilizer, and milk and dairy products. For cars, the tariff will be removed on new cars in the 13th year since the TPP goes into effect. For cars with engine sizes from 3000 cc and above, the tariff will be lifted in the 10th year. The tariff will be lowered to zero in 2029 for imported iron, steel, gas and oil. Pork and chicken meat will see its tax reduction in 2028 and 2029, respectively. As for whether prices will drop with the cut in import tariffs, the official said it is difficult to forecast as prices are influenced by many factors, such as purchase power, other domestic taxes and fees, among others. The Ministry of Finance said more educational activities should be held to popularize information about the TPP and Vietnam's commitments under the pact, while making adjustments to domestic policies to facilitate and well manage import, export and trade, improve business environment and attract more investment. The government will levy a special consumption tax on cars with 24 seats and below from January 1, 2016. That is the main content of a newly issued decree.
Accordingly, the new special consumption tax will be set equal to the importer's price. The new calculation is expected to ensure fairness between automobile importers and domestic assemblers and producers, preventing tax fraud and tax losses to the state's budget. The tax for imported cars with 24 seats and below will be equal to the importer's price, but not lower than 105% of the cost price, which includes the car's import price plus import tax and special consumption tax. If it is lower than this level, the tax will be fixed by a tax agency following regulations on tax management. As for 24-seater cars assembled and manufactured in Vietnam, the tax will be equal to the car maker's wholesale price, but this price will not be lower than 7% compared with the average prices of automobile businesses. According to the General Statistics Office, Vietnam imported an estimated 95,000 cars in the first 10 months of this year, making year-on-year increase of 82.8%. As is normal, people's demand of cars will increase in the last few months of the year. Therefore, the businesses are expecting to import more than 100,000 cars by the end of this year.
An European music festival will be held from November 18 to 29 in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City as part of activities to mark the 25th anniversary of the EU-Vietnam diplomatic relations, November 22, 1990 to 2015.
Ambassador and head of the EU delegation to Vietnam, Bruno Angelet, said on November 10th that culture exchange and community diplomacy is an important part of efforts to strengthen connectivity between EU and Vietnamese people in all fields. The European Music Festival is expected to impress Vietnamese audiences with concerts featuring famous artists from its EU member countries, as well as Vietnamese young band Hạc San. 19 concerts during the festival will also give audience a chance to experience diverse music genres from jazz, rock to Vietnamese traditional music. First event will be held on November 18th at the Công Nhân Cinema in Hanoi with the performance of Germany brand Royal Freak Band and in Ho Chi Minh City with Swedish Tolvan Big Band.
The Central Province of Thanh Hóa has announced a master plan for the conservation and promotion of the value of the UNESCO-recognized Ho Citadel site and surrounding area associated with tourism development. More details in the following report. Covering more than 5,000 hectares, the Ho Citadel comprises the Inner Citadel, La Thanh Outer Wall, and the Nam Giao Outer. Under the plan approved by Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng, there are two important heritage axes that connect the Ho Citadel with the Nam Giao Outer on the vertical axis, while the horizontal axis links Ma River with the west section of the outer wall. The plan is designed to create a legal basis for the management and implementation of conservative and restorative projects under the approved plan. The citadel of the Ho dynasty was recognized by the UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site in 2011. Located in two communes of Vĩnh Lộc district, the citadel was built in 1397 by King Hồ Quý Ly. Unlike many other citadels that were built with bricks, the citadel was built with huge stone slabs sourced from nearby mountains. It features 4 arch entrances facing the 4 points of the compass. The world's popular travel guidebook publisher Lonely Planet has listed Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City in the top 10 best value destinations for 2016. Let's take a look.
Both the capital Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City came second in the Lonely Planet list, as they were said to be in that most magical of price brackets for budget travelers. Foreign visitors only net around $20 per day for food, lodging, and sightseeing in the two cities. Other wallet-friendly destinations include Estonia, East Africa, New Mexico State, the US, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Galicia in Spain, Quebec City in Canada, Costa Rica's Caribbean coast, Timor-Leste, and Western Australia. Vietnam's two metropolises were also named among the top 5 best cities for low-budget vacations in 2015, earlier this year by Dr. Prem, a renowned travel and tourism website. The ranking was based on average daily expenditures on food, accommodations, and transportation. The estimated daily budget stands around $7.40 in Hanoi, where foods and drinks were deemed delicious and inexpensive, while beautiful rice fields and distant mountain ranges added to the magic of the general landscape. The travel site noted that Ho Chi Minh City can also be kind to a wallet, though it is slightly more expensive than Hanoi, raising the daily expenses to $17.79.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. For more information, you can log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.